Everybody's connecting. Good morning. Hi, Kelly. Good morning. Good morning, Terry. Good morning, Delphine. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. Thank you. How you doing, everybody?
Good. Wonderful. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. Oh, that light is not pretty.
Oh,
Okay.
This is about writing.
That's what I figure.
Welcome, welcome. We're so glad you're here. There's a few more people going to pop in, so we'll just give it a couple more minutes and let everybody, it's a Saturday morning, so you know how that goes. Do make sure you've got some water or tea or something to drink and some paper and a pen to write on. And then if you want to move to your computer, have your computer, you know, your keyboard ready, because you might, if you really get on a roll, you might want to write on the computer. But I do like to start with handwriting on the.
Oh, okay. I'm going to get some paper.
If you can, perfect. Okay, then good. We'll just wait a minute. How's everybody doing? Delphine, you doing well? Good.
Good. Yeah, I'm good.
Good. Wonderful. And where are you located?
I'm in Birmingham in the United Kingdom.
Okay, wonderful. Very good. Awesome. And Kelly, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Like 98% awake.
Okay, yeah, exactly. I haven't had my tea yet, so I've got to still
Working
steep.
on it.
I'm still steeping mine. Gina's coming in. Okay, and Christine, I'm going to make you also co-host. Okay, so you can do, there we go. So you can post there too. Good. And Gina's here. Let me get my gallery view on. Great, awesome. We have I think a couple more, but I think we'll go ahead and get started here in just a minute. And I know Michael's coming on.
Alana's coming on because she's my daughter.
Alana's coming on.
She's getting her tea.
Wonderful, Terry. Great. And good morning, Gina. Good, good. This will be fun. Yeah, Alana should be here. And I think, I don't know, there's a few more coming. It's good. I always say whoever comes, it's absolutely the right, perfect group. So anybody want to share anything? Any questions? Everybody, while we're waiting, we'll check in here. Gina, are you going to be writing on the money or are you going to be working on your book?
You know what? I'm just going to see what the spirit moves me to do.
Perfect. That's great.
I feel like I have this, I'm a Taurus and I have this like very bullish energy this morning. Like I'm going to get it done, whatever it is.
Great. Good, good. I'm glad. Okay. Well, let's just take a minute. I'm Keren and I help entrepreneurs get launched in their messaging, their marketing, and their book publishing. I help people, I publish books. I've been doing it for many, many years. And yes, go ahead.
Alana's saying she can't get into the meeting.
Okay, let me.
She said she's asking about the passcode. So
okay, yeah, that was a problem with Michael too. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to pop it in here. I'm going to pop it in the chat. Can you message
okay,
her?
I'll text her if you put it in the chat. Thanks.
It's in the chat right there.
Okay.
If you can message her, that'd be awesome.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, here she is. She did it. She got it.
Okay.
Michael, you can't, are you?
There. Okay.
Good. Anna, good morning. Can you not get in either?
I haven't got the,
I emailed it to you.
I know, but then I registered and I'm waiting on that.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And I didn't want to miss what's happening.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I was saying I'm Keren. I do book publishing, launching entrepreneurs, and today we're focusing on rewriting your money story. It's going to be really great. And my good friend Christine is the guru of money strategy, how to make money come in. And so I'll let her introduce herself, and then I'll tell about how the writing will be working. So Christine.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, wherever you're located. And I'm so grateful to be here. So it's early Saturday morning. I'm in Colorado in the States. So I love talking about money. I love writing about money. I love everything about money. And I do money a little bit differently in the space of I marry the two parts of money, which I believe are the strategy, which is, you know, the budgeting, the practical, tactical, the accounting, the profit and loss, all that good stuff with around our businesses. And then our personal side, understanding our budgeting and all of that and expenses and what's going through in our households. But I also bring in the space of the psychology of money and the energy of money. And I think between the two, it takes two to tango with this little thing called money. It really creates a lot of success. So I mainly work with women in business who are in running 6- and 7-figure businesses and help them uncover their next financial roadblocks so that they can step into their genuine power as CEO of their business while increasing their revenue, increasing their profitability without busting their butt, because that's sometimes how it feels like it's going sometime with this money thing. So yeah, so I'm thrilled to be here. I have a bunch of questions to focus on and write on and everything like that. And my philosophy around money is that we are in relationship with this thing as if it is another person or entity in our life. And so we'll be focusing a lot around that area with the questions.
Good, 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 good. I have people texting me wanting to get in, so hang on. Evidently this link didn't work so good for everybody else. Let me, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to write in about 15-minute increments. I'm going to ding a little chime and in between. And so we're going to, don't think about what you're writing, don't edit it, don't critique it, don't spell it. Just write, just like let it dump and let it write. So we're going to have a little meditation in just a second. Let me get this one person in. And we're going to have a little meditation so we can get centered. And there we go, got her in there. Then we're going to be writing just in a flow state, okay? So let's, feeling your feet on the floor, we're going to just get centered for a minute. Take a deep breath. I need to get centered myself after all the link problems here. So get centered, feel your feet on the floor. Take a deep breath and feel your heart open and expand. Take another deep breath in, and on the exhale, release anything that you're feeling stuck in. Inhale again, and inhale the whole spirit of abundance into your heart. Inhale again and feel the top of your head opening and being receptive to a download, to information, to insights, to inspirations coming to you. We're feeling grounded and we're feeling connected to the heavens. And that flow of energy is coming right through us. This is a reciprocal flow state. We can feel it coming to us and through us to other people, to us and through us to our families. Flow in our business, flow in our creative ideas. Open to abundance in every area of our life. And we are grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for all the goodness. May all the goodness flow. May we be receptive, receptive receptors. We open our heart, we open our mind, and we say, let it come. We are grateful. And we welcome money. We welcome money. We are setting our intention on seeing money in a different way and establishing a really healthy relationship. And so we open everything in our bodies, we let any resistance go that's keeping us from receiving this new way of thinking. And we just say thank you. Good. Good, good. Okay, I'm going to be ringing this chime at the end of each one. And you'll hear that at the end of every 15 minutes. So, good morning, Kitty.
Good morning.
We just did a little centering and opening our hearts to receive the abundance and the concepts of money and how they're going to shift in us in the next couple of hours. And so I'm going to be ringing that little chime every 15 minutes. Christine's going to start guiding us on some writing prompts. So everybody grab a pen, piece of paper, take a deep breath, and Christine, you got it.
All right, let's do this.
Let's do it.
All right. So as I mentioned in my intro, I believe that we are in relationship with money. So the first question is this. If money were a person in your life and you were in relationship with this person, close relationship, how would you describe your relationship?
We'll start writing now. Okay, does everybody feel like they've got that one? Need more time? Okay, good. Let's go to Christine, the next question.
Okay, so keeping in line with this whole relationship thing, I want you to, or I invite you, I should put it that way, to send a Dear Money letter to money and write a Dear Money letter to money. So this letter can say whatever you want to say to release what is going on in your head about money, and really very therapeutic money. So letter. So I would just start Dear Money ... and let it rip.
Let it roll. Okay. All right, we'll start now. Does anybody need more time, or is that good? Anybody want to share what they got? I got a cool thing. I enjoyed that one. I got a big chair, like a chair in my house, and only money sits in it. I have a place at my dining room table with my family, and this chair is plenty big for money, but it can expand. It expands and it's like can fit money, or it can fit 20 people, or it can fit a really, really big person or somebody really small. And it was, this chair was just like always there, and nobody ever sat in it because money never left. Money was always in that chair. So I started writing, well, when you're not here, but I thought, no, you're never not here. So I had to back up and rewrite that one. So that was fun. I enjoyed that.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. It's beautiful.
that was my, yeah, that was my story. I love writing like this. It's so fun. Brings stuff out of you and the creativity, you know? So that was great. Anybody need more time on that one? We good? Okay. All right. Christine.
Well, we flipped the script here a little bit with our Dear Money letter writing. So what I'd love you to do is now, as you wrote Dear Money, da da da, da, sincerely, your name, or however or not sincerely, depending on just your relationship right now with it. I want you to switch gears and you step into the role of money and write yourself back. So the first letter was Dear Money, da 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 da, sincerely Christine. And now it's Dear Christine, and it comes from the eyes of money writing back to you, responding to your letter or whatever, whatever's coming up for you. So go for it.
Okay. Good. Everybody good on that one? Anybody want to share what they wrote? Yeah, Kitty.
This one made me cry. But anyway, money told me to not let other people shame me for not having enough money.
Oh, wow.
Because that's what I get.
Wow.
So.
Okay, well, you're going to flip that one.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
That's good. That's really
Yeah.
good.
So.
Thank you for sharing, Kitty.
Mhm.
Being witnessed in the group. Our money stuff gets, we get hooked in because of being in relationship with others about their money stuff, and we unwind it quicker when we are in relationship with other people in this type of setting. So that's really profound and brave. So I witness your courage. Thank you.
Anybody else? Kelly, anything from you? I'm sure you've got something.
My letter was about feeling abandoned. And so Money's letter back to me was, I'm here. I've been here the whole time, and I'm ready to support you, and I'm just holding space for you. And
Yeah.
ready to let me in.
Yeah. Will you?
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Can you feel it's right there? Money is just right there. It wants to come and circulate because you're doing good with it and you're helping people and expanding all kinds of things, and you can't do it without money. You can't do it as effectively without money. Yeah. The end of my letter said, I love my chair. I love my chair. That was good. You guys are making me cry. Anybody else?
I just saw it as being really manipulative in my life. Like it's in control. It's bossing me around all the time. And yeah, I'm just really, I have this love-hate thing with it, because sometimes when money's in my life, when I've had money in my life, we get to do such fun things together. And then other times I have no money, and I'm tired of how much energy money is taking up of my psychic energy and every other way, right? It's just got way too much control over me. And so it feels like the relationship with money is out of balance for me. So I was, unlike you, Keren, I saw money as, I was thinking of as a person. I was so curious that you had yours as more metaphorical. I was thinking of as a person really just manipulating me all the time. Yeah.
Interesting.
Thank you, Terry. That's big. And I know you're not alone in that, for sure.
Right.
I know a lot in the first question about if money was a person, I get a lot of here one day, gone the next, one night stand feels like. So that sort of can be that feeling like I have so much fun with it and then not so much, and it's controlling me and stuff like that. So thank you for sharing, everyone. Thank you for sharing.
And I'd have to say I've done this before with Christine. And yeah, it's really powerful. And money was like a person literally coming and living in my home. Had very much was part of my whole family. But it wasn't all, that wasn't always my story, not at all. It was stingy and yeah, lots of negatives, many, many negatives. This is good. Yeah, this is good. Anybody else want to share anything?
I will share. So I grew up the youngest of 10 kids, and my older siblings told me I was spoiled all the time. And money was never like something that was lacking in my life. I think my dad's business was thriving and college was paid for. I never had to worry about it. And then all of a sudden I got the good grades, I got the degree, and money wasn't there. And so I was, money was just telling me, look, I did this for a reason. I needed to show you that you can do this yourself and you're capable of, you don't have to rely on a benefactor or someone to fund your way. And as hard as it's been to take 25 years to maybe learn that lesson as a single mom, it became imperative over the last 4 years that even though it's been very scarce, to learn that that I'm worthy. That was the word worthy came in, that money's here for you to claim, Gina. You just need to realize that you're worthy.
Oh,
That's beautiful, Gina.
Mm-hmm.
super potent. I feel the potential of prosperity in that. That's that claiming. I love that word, and ownership of us back in the driver's seat of this type of relationship, which, family-wise, societally, what's going on in the world, obviously over the past year and a half even, or year and a few months with the pandemic, we get a lot of input as to what it's supposed to be. And then understanding ourselves through exercises like this, through questions like this, a little bit more about what we want it to look like and who we are in that relationship is just really, it's potent. So well done, everyone.
Yeah. Okay. You want to go on to the next question, Christine? Or you want to share anything else? Talk about...
Yeah, and everything is welcome. Everything is welcome. So, so let's see if we can have, we'll dive into a little bit of the idea of what's the money for? What is important to you to express through money? I believe money is life force energy. It is a form of us expressing out in the world, whether it's through travel or through how we dress, how we decorate our home, perhaps, what food we buy, that kind of thing. So what's the money for is the question, and the sub question is really what would be your ideal fantasy with money? So anything around that.
Okay, you guys have more to write? We good? Okay. Anybody want to share a little bit on that? Kitty, I'm loving your insights.
This one makes me happy because the money is not just for me. It's so I can have a bigger impact on people.
Exactly.
And one of my things, I wrote this down, and now I know I need to get a picture, but my ultimate fantasy is to have a tricked out VW bus. So I can go around and do all my coaching in all the states where I want to go. I love to travel. And adventure is my middle name. I'm the explorer. I'm known for that. And my friends know that. And I want a tricked out VW bus where I can pack up all my neuro stuff and all my tools and my tricks and my everything and just go to where my clients are.
Right.
Because that's important to me. I know I want to live a healthy lifestyle to do all these other things, but I want the bus so I can put my bicycle, I'm looking at my bike, so I can put my bicycle in it and I can, work from the road because I work from my Subaru right now. Do you know how cramped it is in my Subaru to work some days? I find a parking lot and I put my whatever on my cooler, but that's my fantasy.
That's great. It's not a fantasy. That's more reality than you know. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome. I love that one.
Yeah.
That's super exciting. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I wrote that money spent in Florida affects Italy. And that's exactly what you're talking about. It affects the whole world.
Yeah.
It really does. So
Yeah.
that money is for circulating. Uh-huh. And yeah, this is good.
Yeah, obviously another word for money is currency, and current is flow.
Mm-hmm.
So currency, flow, it's a dynamic relationship, and getting on the side of the coin that is abundance, and that we are abundance, we are love, that's the core of us, and love is abundance. We start to step into, it's about the money, and it's not about the money. It's about how we go out in the world and share and receive and give and everything in between. And again, I think money shows us some of our greatest fears. Actually, I think it's a great tool to show us our biggest fears. And if we have the courage and the willingness to look at it as a tool to teach us or to understand ourselves better, we can grow immensely from it, and typically our bank accounts as well. So whatever that bank account is for you, like, it doesn't need to be, it's what you choose. That's where the power is. So thank you.
Anybody else want to share anything? Yeah, Kelly.
So in my head, I understand the, impact, and more money means more impact, but it wasn't really landing for me of how. And so there was a disconnect of, okay, I want to have nice clothes and I want to live in a nice house and I want to have money so I don't have to worry about it. And then separately, I want to have impact. And this just kind of helped marry it for me, that filling my cup by having beautiful clothes and a beautiful space and travel. I love to travel, explore and experience the world. That all of that helps to support me in who I am and fill my cup so that I can have the impact that I want to have. And my big dream is that I want to have some sort of foundation and or retreat center up in the woods, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's such a peaceful place to be. And so it's just marrying that so that I don't feel guilty for wanting to have all these things, and then it didn't make sense for how to have the impact. So this really just helped click all the pieces together.
I love hearing your goals, your desires. I mean, money is so much about emotion. So it's even kind of interesting, as probably most of you are aware, about the mind, like, doesn't know real from imagined. And just us drumming up the emotions of that come out of desire and what we're wanting makes us feel good in the moment. And that is an amplifier. So outside of the money piece as the tangible thing that we use every day for things, it taps into our, as to use Gina's word, worthiness. It taps into our inherent wholeness and being on this planet. I mean, we're a freaking miracle walking this earth. with a lot of abundance in us. I think it's like 70 trillion cells. So just on a scientific level, if you will, and I probably have the wrong number, but yeah, it's just great. And to share again, desires and goals and outcomes that we're wanting, wishes, it evokes a feeling. Like I can feel Kelly's radiance come up as she's speaking about what she's wanting, Kitty as well. And for anyone else who wants to share, that's it reflects back like, oh, where did I lose that? Where did I lose that feeling? I know for me at times I've been, numb to my feelings, and it evokes bringing them up, and I'm like, I get to have this, and that's divinity running through you. So beautiful. I love it. I'd say I'm crying, but it's really allergies and spring season here in Colorado.
I'm crying.
I'm tearing up a little bit, but yeah, I'm mostly.
Delphine, I feel like you got something to say. Yeah. Get your unmute off there.
I can go on. Yeah, no, just enjoying this.
Oh, good.
And the thought about money, how how elusive it is for me. And the letter was about me not trusting how he's around. He's always there waiting for me, but I don't trust him and look out for him. That's basically what it is.
Okay.
Beautiful awareness.
Yeah.
And it's truth and it's honesty. So thank you, Delphine.
Yeah. So what was money for?
For me?
Yeah, for you.
Yeah. It's actually the same thing. Traveling and adventure.
Right.
And also, I have this idea of having a retreat center and a center for women to be able to develop their skills and to be able to make a contribution to support their children, like houses, sustainable houses for them. That's, that was mine.
So, yeah, so why wouldn't money want to come to you, It's like, what the heck? Why wouldn't it want to come to you? That's awesome. Let's let it flow. Really get the intentions, because what we're wanting and our desires are not all about us. Kelly, perfect example, Kelly, because your clothes, are affecting other people, and travel is affecting many other people. So this is not, it's about us and it's through us.
I'd love to start a retreat center too. So maybe we all three should get together and start a center. Let's just do this.
That's true.
Do this. I love it. I can't wait to visit.
What are we waiting for?
Kitty will come in her van and teach something. That's good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. If money is lacking right now, just feel into the dreams and feel into the emotion of the dreams, and know that emotion is available to you today. That whether it's joy or hope or inspiration, or like where can you find that today? And I often tell my clients, okay, it's when I get there, or when that's what they'll be sharing, when I get there and I get this thing and I'm going to feel so great. Like, can we pull that feeling to now? Where do I feel like if freedom, or is an emotion that comes up when you think of your wants? Where do I feel freedom today? Well, in my body maybe, or, being able to go outside and feel the fresh air and the freedom of us being able to choose whether I go right or left. And it just brings it back to today and really amplifies our just own inherent abundance. So I'm feeling it already just hearing you guys. So thank you. So good. So good.
Yeah. Alana, you want to share anything? You good?
I guess I got confused by the question, because it was like, what is money for? And then I was writing all these ways I could spend money.
Yeah.
and then I saw Christine's comment in
in the chat, and I was like, oh, also about how money can come to me.
Yeah.
So I need to flesh that out a little bit. So
Yeah. And, there's no right or wrong here, Alana. So I think you're right on time and right on the mark. It's why would money flow through you? And it's for the things that you want. And it could be just end there too. And I want to invite that because a lot of times we do get caught up in this is like, it's coming through me for others or something like that. And it's our own awareness of our divinity is like, what if I just received it, especially for us as women, particularly we're typically givers. What's it for me and what lights me up? That it doesn't necessarily need to be a ripple effect necessarily. I mean, I think that's great, but it's what is the money for? And you can, I think it's all
but what I struggle with is that in general, the pattern is for me to want more than comes in.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
There's sort of like a constant outflow, and I feel wonderful about giving.
Yeah. So maybe the focus is more on like for you. What are you wanting for you?
Mm-hmm.
Because I could feel your heart center in your response there, and that's of course an amazing energy, and you want to be supported. So fully.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good. Okay, let's go to another question.
Yeah, I'm like,
deeper.
I feel like Wheel of Fortune, like I should just spin my wheel of questions and grab one, and then trying to kind of have a theme here. So let's do this one. So so much about our money story and rewriting it is knowing where we are with it currently. And we've gone through that with a couple of these questions, if not a few of them, and also where it's come from in a way. And as I'm sure most of you are aware, a lot of our money story comes from us growing up as young children. 0 to 7 is when our subconscious mind is being formed, and we're just taking it all in. So this question is, what is your first money memory? And just, again, I'll just add in as you're writing the question or writing this, real responses to the question and writing this out, tap into feelings, tap into what do you see, the different senses perhaps to really amplify the response to the question. So your first money memory, what is it? And what are all the characteristics? How did it make you feel? Where did you go with it? How are you showing up in it today?
Okay, we'll begin writing now. Everybody got theirs? Need a little more time? We're good, I think. Okay. Would anyone like to share their story? Yeah, Kitty.
I'll share. It took me a while, and I know that I had this memory back a couple weeks ago when I was traveling. But my first money memory, I don't know how old I was, and I don't know if y'all ever did this, but there was a thing where you could sell seeds. Okay. In a catalog somewhere, you ordered seeds and then you could sell them and make money. So, I was like, I want to do that. And my dad was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I can sell seeds, the little tiny packets. And I remember going to church, and I'm not a big church person as an adult, but I went to church as a kid, and I sold the daylights out of those seeds. I had a whole box, and I went, and I had a little baggie, and they would give me their money, and I would put the money in the baggie and put the baggie in my seed box. Seed box. Interesting, huh? I didn't get that until today. But it was so interesting because my dad was like, I don't know, Kitty. I don't know that that's a good idea, and if people are going to buy your seeds. And then I showed him. I was like, hey, I sold all my seeds. And he was like, you sold them to all those church people? Because my dad did not go to church. And he was like, huh, you're a pretty good salesman if you got all those guys to buy your seeds. And I was like, yeah. But the interesting thing is he was like, don't spend all your money in one place. That was his, I mean, he was like, you're a great salesman. That's awesome and amazing. But don't spend all your money in one place. And I'm not quite sure exactly what that means anymore, but to him, because he's dead. But it was an interesting story to remember because I was so proud. I carried around this little tiny box with change and dollars. And, you know, I got the whole congregation to buy seeds, every one of them.
That's great. Great.
Yeah.
Really good story. Anybody else? Yeah, Kelly.
I'll go. I don't have a specific memory. My parents divorced when I was little, and my mom had custody of me, so I got to see my dad every other weekend. And as I became more aware of just the differences, so certainly by the time I was 7, there were huge disparities. My mom and I lived in a tiny little house. I didn't even have a door on my bedroom. In fact, my room was the enclosed patio of the house. It was originally like a 1-bedroom house. Very tiny, very, I didn't know that we were poor, but we were poor. Didn't always know where the food was coming from. And then I would visit my dad's every other weekend, and it was a huge difference. There was always a nice house, nice cars, plenty of food. We would go out to eat. We had family vacations. My stepmom would take me shopping, and that's where I would get my clothes because my mom never took me shopping. She didn't have the money. And so just having that disparity in what clicked for me today was that I always felt like I was a visitor at my dad's. And so I didn't embrace that abundance, that it was just like, I get a little taste of it, but I don't deserve it all the time. So this is where I belong, is where I was at my mom's house.
Even as you describe, like you would visit your dad's every other week versus visiting your mom's every other week kind of thing. Like, and I'm sure there was, I mean, she had custody, so there was a energy around that. And so often it's not necessarily an initial memory as you're portraying and modeling. It's an energy that you're feeling. And so,
yeah,
great awareness. Thank you.
Yeah,
it's powerful. Our youth, our young minds. It's powerful to feel into. And again, if it's not a story, it's maybe an energy or a knowing, or you know, you see kids kind of these days. Like, I don't have kids, but I see, you know, picking up on things, and they're like sponges. So just kind of understanding you don't even need to do necessarily anything with the memory or the energy. It's just in the awareness of it liberates in a something that's been clamped down, perhaps. So just in the knowing of that.
I'll share one. So mine was about getting an allowance. I don't remember how old I was when I got it, but I just remember being like, wow, I have an allowance. I can do whatever I want, spend it on whatever I want. However, the other memory that came up for me during this was, for whatever reason, my sister and I would take money from my piggy bank, not from hers. And I was the older. And we would take it in the mornings, and we'd stop by the drugstore on our way to school. I was like 6, right? And we were probably 5. Let's see, she would have been probably 5 and 7, right? And we would stop by the drugstore on the way to school, because we walked to school by ourselves, and stop by and get candy. And somehow my mom found out. I mean, she's a mom, you know, I'm sure probably the owner told her. And she found out. And I had this memory of her standing at the top of the stairs in our house with this wooden spoon that she denies to this day that she ever would hit us with a wooden spoon. But my sister and I both say she did when she was mad. And she's standing at the bottom of the stairs. We're at the top of the stairs, terrified. And she's yelling at us, screaming at us with the spoon. And then she, in her anger, she hits the spoon on the edge of the banister and breaks it. And so I remember my sister and I just both being terrified and like wanting to burst out into gales of laughter because it broke. And anyway, so that's just a memory I have of that whole thing. That was the end of our drugstore shenanigans, but it was just such a lovely thing that we would stop by there. And, you know, I didn't ever think about, well, why are we using my money and not hers? That didn't even occur to me, right? Like, we're draining my piggy bank.
Yeah.
I just didn't even think about it that way. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's a very different memory from Kelly's, but yeah.
It's just as potent, my dear. So thank you for sharing and being witnessed in it.
Yeah.
I had this was actually only a few years ago. I've been doing this work for about the psychology of money and the study of psychology of money for about 10 years now. Been in finance all my life, went to business school, worked on Wall Street for 12 years in institutional investing, and then moved out to Colorado and became an entrepreneur. But this was only a few years ago, came back and I realized one of my biggest fears is that money will be taken from me. Like if I make more, it will be taken from me. And all of a sudden something popped up, not necessarily connected, but I realized, ooh, is this part of it? Is this part of the story? And it was, we were kids and I grew up Roman Catholic. So I went to Catholic school my whole life, not practicing now, but we would celebrate Easter and get Easter baskets. And in the Easter basket would be like a $5 bill or some sort of money, nothing extravagant, but something. And that was sort of like the candy and all that was great. And I probably got like nail polish or something, but that $5 bill or $10 bill was like, what can we do with this? And I remember my parents being out for the night and they had a babysitter come in and she brought friends over and I went to bed and around this Easter time and I went to bed and the next morning the $5 was gone from the basket. And I think the babysitter, I was young at the time, so I didn't know really what had transpired, but I was like, I remember that party and Conchetta was her name. She came over with friends and then that $5 was gone. Now, whether it was her or that, but it was something around that memory that brought it back. And I was like, oh, I wonder if this is part of me worried about people taking money from me. And it just in the awareness of it, like I didn't need to process it or overthink it too much, but just in sort of like connecting the dots in a way that released a lot for me around that fear. And that fear is diminished by tremendously a lot. So just a personal share on that. It's still, even though I'm a money coach, still doing the work.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, mine was about my sister and I when we were, I think, 6 years old or so, 7 maybe, and we had a yard full of dandelions, like thousands and thousands of dandelions. And so my dad said, if you pick these dandelions, I'll give you a penny for every 2. And so my sister and I got out there and all day long, literally probably 10 hours, we picked dandelions by the roots and had them in a bag. And then we had drug this big bag up. We counted them too as we were going and putting them in the bag. So I think we had somewhere close to like 5,000. And we drug them up onto the porch and we said, Dad, we got all these dandelions. I think there's 5,000 of them. So you owe us $25. And he never paid us because he didn't have the money. And so it's like mine was, you can work your ass off and not get paid. You can have an adult promise you and not come through. And so money's always kind of out there. It's out there, but maybe not for you. So that was mine. And I didn't realize that till just now. That was a good exercise for me because that was I didn't remember that, but that's, so yeah, I got to work through that one again.
Yeah, that's huge, Karen. Thank you.
Yeah, I got to work through that one again. So anyway, yeah, and interesting how much our child memory of it affects now, even years later. Good Lord, wouldn't that be great to get rid of?
Yeah.
Let's get rid of that, you guys. Let's get rid of these. It's not reality.
Yeah, and this is powerful stuff. Obviously, we're kind of scratching the surface of it, but I want you guys to just feel into the grace and compassion, and again, courage of this type of questioning and this line of questioning, whatever the memory is, whatever the energy is, whatever's coming up for you. Now and today, as we leave, in 40 minutes or so and wrap this up, is to just have a lot of grace and compassion for yourself in these memories, in these stories, in anything of the hurting around money and money used against you or family or friends, or what you've heard, because we're opening up a little bit of Pandora's box. I've been known to stir up some shit, so of course I'm here, and I'll leave my email if you do feel you want to share anything and just be witnessed in a safe space. In my world, you can do that, but this is a tender one for sure.
Yeah. So if you guys do want to work with Christine, you can see the depth and the power of it. She's going to leave her contact information in the chat in a minute. You can, feel free to really set up a call and just see where it goes.
Absolutely.
Really, yeah. This is good work. This is important, because if we intend to make money and have it flow and be welcome and sit on our big chair in our living room, and at our table, we got to have a good relationship with it. We really need a really positive relationship. So we want to welcome it. Good. Anybody else want to share on this? No? Good. Okay. Let's do one more. And yeah, let's do one more. Let's see where that goes. We may do another.
All right. So this is a little longer one, so I'll actually post it in as I read it. Well, I'll read it first and then I'll post it. Of course, I've been posting them in the chat, but just so you can track along with it, because it's just it's called what I call the money miracle question. So I'm just actually going to read it. See my eyes darting away here from the screen. Imagine that you have just awakened from a night's rest, and whatever money challenges you are currently going through, that you've come here with and you're experiencing, they have miraculously been overcome while you were sleeping. The money challenge was completely solved overnight, but you were sleeping, and so you didn't know it was solved. You wake up and you know something's different. You just inherently know that something is different and that something must have happened during the night. What do you notice? What do you feel? What comes up for you that confirms that something actually did happen? What's going on in your life this morning?
Everybody got it? Okay, Delphine? Got it? Good. Anybody like to share? How did you feel?
I'll share. I said that I woke up feeling like I could breathe better. Like something is different. I mean, I feel this way every time I leave Colorado these days. I have a sense of I can breathe. And it looks lighter outside. There's a sense of confidence, and I don't feel worried that it's going to be taken away from me or somebody's going to be negative towards me. That's how I knew. And I wrote how I looked outside and I was like, oh, there's my Subaru and there's my VW bus. Yay. So everything's good. I don't feel like, I woke up and I was like, wow, I don't have the worry of how am I going to pay for this or how am I going to pay for that? And I thought about all the people that I was meeting, in that day, and how instead of, you know, them always buying, I was like, oh, I'll buy today's round of wine or, you know, whatever for the celebration, you know, and it was just sunnier. You know, I wake up and there is sun and it's sunny, but it's sunnier, you know, so it's a different quality of all the goodness, and there's no negativity. So that's what I wrote.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. How many felt more space? Yeah, I felt more space in my body. I could feel like I could breathe. Same thing, like I had more space to breathe. That's a good place to be.
Yeah.
That's a good place to live right there. No kidding. Terry, what was your experience?
Yeah, I said I felt lighter than usual, and it had a sense of calm and levity, just being more at ease with the world, and almost like had a giddiness about me, sort of a joyfulness, self-confidence. Yeah, it was just hopeful, optimistic. Yeah, it was just lots of levity, like the general feeling was like definitely levity. Yeah.
I can see it already. Like I can see the lightness, or you know, in you just in speaking the words. So it's very embodied.
Yeah. For me, I had to look at my phone. I'm like, wait. I looked at and I logged into my bank. I'm like, wait, let me look again. No, let me look again. Good. Good. Anybody else? I can feel it. I can feel more space. Can you feel like there's more room for money to come to you guys? There's more room.
I think we definitely opened the portal here as a collective. I mean, again, being in a group setting and using the amplified energy of a group, where this is community, this is the collective energy, this is us as one, supporting each other and again, sharing our stories, and again, the differences and the nuances between them, but we see each other, we're reflectors of each other, and seeing the opening for someone creates an opening in us, especially around a very complex topic of money, you know, and all the layers of it. So I'm just thrilled to be here and spend time with you guys.
And such an important topic. I mean, it's everything. Money is energy, and it's everything. We need it.
It does affect every part of our life, for sure.
It does. It does. So we have time for if anybody doesn't want to talk, we have time for probably another. Want to go a little deeper on it?
Yeah, I mean, I have one that actually can feel into the idea of like, yes, money touches everything and all aspects of our lives. But the question that, you know, kind of brings it back to our own inherent abundance, and a question around that is, let me get it so I get it right. What other ways besides money do you measure your worthiness or your abundance? What other ways, externally, internally, what other ways besides money can you measure your worthiness, your inherent worthiness?
Okay, you guys got something there?
Okay, I'm going to jump in. This one was fraught for me. I can't even, I mean, okay, first of all, I'm currently unemployed and have been for a long time. And my work typically is in the nonprofit sector. I've been doing a lot of, please forgive me, she's already heard this before. So I'm just on this rampage about this because even the term nonprofit says, it gives you messages. I've been doing this for decades, and the message is nonprofit. So no, it's negative from the get-go, right? I want to rename it to social benefit organizations because that's what we do. But I've really internalized a lot of that, right? The nonprofit stuff, and nonprofits are also, I mean, Christine, I think you could get a full-time job doing seriously, a lot of healing work with people who worked in that sector, because the poverty mentality, the scarcity mentality that permeates that sector is unbelievable. And, you know, the work that we do is insane. Huge amounts of time that we work just as hard as anybody in the for-profit sector ever has, and for no money, not even money left over to buy, you know, have a massage, you know, once a month or something. So my own worthiness, I don't know, I'm struggling to find it. I look to my friends and my family for that right now, but I have so much internalized, and now doing this work with you, looking back over my own history, it's like, wow, I've just reinforced it over and over and over again. This sense of not being worthy of getting paid. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I better be quiet before I burst into tears.
No, it's unacceptable.
Yeah.
What goes on in the social benefit organizations, if you will. Interestingly enough, yesterday I did a money mindset presentation workshop for Advocates, which is a organization up here in Steamboat, where I live in Colorado, for battered women, displaced men and women in going through tough times. And you can see a lot of resentment. You can see a lot of, and completely valid emotions around this idea of money and the idea of asking for money. And that's the only way that we make change happen in these organizations. And I really feel in that what goes on in nonprofits, where our community is very deeply based, with a lot of nonprofits that are supporting people in different ways. And it's an interesting dynamic. And I think, like for you, Terry, in the space of renaming it, right? Language is so important in this type of work, in the money work, of course, in your work, but like renaming that and claiming that and staying with it is so important. Even feels like it's not doing too much, but it is. And so I appreciate what you've done in your career to this point, and I appreciate that you're unemployed at this time, but that the work is so profound. It's making such a big difference, and people are getting paid nothing to do this work and working extra. It's like, I get pissed off. So I hear you. And I don't know the full extent of it to the degree that you probably do, but I'm here with you in it. So thank you for sharing that. And when our worthiness is connected to money, when it's connected to perhaps what we do in the world, when we try to separate that because it's so embedded, it's hard to sometimes do that. And so looking, you know, and again, if anybody else wants to share maybe a way that they're feeling how worthiness shows up for them if we took that money piece out of the equation, again, maybe just an opening to a different perspective and a different seed, to use Kitty's languaging too, just, you know, is there a seed that can be planted that might be a little bit of a different perspective? So thank you for sharing that. Super important. And that conversation is important.
Yeah, and Terry, I totally identify with that. I worked 37 years in a nonprofit. My whole career was in nonprofit and made no money, and women never got a retirement. Only the men got a retirement, so I had no money. Yeah, and so I totally identify with you. And I said, at one point, I said, I'm done, and I'm doing what I'm called. And all of it was for someone else, building someone else's vision. And then I said, I'm done. Yeah. So, yeah, it's maybe time for you to ignite that desire in you, whatever is burning that you really want to do. Social justice, social change. Absolutely. Absolutely. Powerful. Delphine, you too.
Kasha,
Yes.
can I share?
Yes, please.
Yeah, you know, this last exercise was like just broke something open because the first thought that came to me was that without money, I trust in my intellect and what I can do, how I can achieve, and without help from anybody or support or that sort of thing. And it come back to the question about growing up, what was the story of money? And in my home, in my family, nobody talks about money. You don't talk about money. If you ask like to buy a pair of shoe or something, it's like the first question is like, where do you want me to get the money from? Okay, and then it goes into a rant, and then there's a kind of like shame or disappointment, and like that kind of struggle, and it was not like, I wouldn't say I grew up in a poor family, but it just wasn't spoken of. And this morning I woke up and I was thinking of something, and I thought of the thought that came to me sometime was about betrayed, and then it was talk about the silent, the life of silence, wherein your questions are never answered. Okay, you're either met with a silence or a look or something, and so I had to create in my own mind answers to questions that I needed. So I found that, and I was thinking, oh my God, that's deep.
Powerful, for sure.
That's really deep. No kidding. Wow.
Thank you. Wow, what grace.
Wow.
So much is inside of us, and when we oh gosh, I'll speak for myself, of all the searching outward that I've done, looking for the answer, show me the way. And the more that I trust myself and my own responses, and again, that is through us kind of asking questions and writing and understanding ourselves more, we're like, wait a minute, it's something inside here, and what is that? And I think of, I don't think I can do this because it's probably like illegal or something, but like make dollar bills that, on US dollar bills, it says, "In God we trust." I think on some part of the bill, I forget what part. I mean, I might not even have a dollar bill in my bag because we don't carry money anymore, like physical money. I want to say, in myself I trust. Like the new dollar bill or the new money is like, in myself I trust. And God, of course, is us. Source energy is us. It is divine, but it feels separate. And we're trying to bring that worthiness back to us. Ways that for me, I feel my own worthiness outside of the money story is through the joy I feel throughout a day, or happiness. Seeing like myself chuckle or laugh, fun is one of my top values. So feeling that in my day, just a couple of different ways that I see it, that it's internal to me, whatever's going on the outside isn't having the ups and downs, like doesn't dictate who I am at my core, at my truth. And that's been a long study of time, my friends. And the journey continues. So thank you, Delphine.
Yeah, that was amazing. Kelly, you have something to say?
Yeah, Christine, a lot of what you said just resonated a lot with me, because my journey has been that internal connection, that it's not, well, my whole life was about the external validation and getting my worthiness from, my accomplishments. My parents were proud of me because of what I did and not who I was or just me. So the last few years, that's been my journey, is to really go deep and connect within myself, that I don't need that outside validation. It's nice. I mean, I can't say it's not nice to have,
we are human for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
The love and appreciation coming in. Yeah. But it starts with me. So having that connection with myself, being comfortable with myself, loving myself, being out in nature, just kind of connecting with that energy and the earth and with the divine. So all of my morning practices center around that connection for me and getting me set up for day after day of deeper connection with me. So that's where I find my worthiness now.
Yeah, love it. Love affair. Thank you.
Anybody else? That's good. Very, very good, Kelly. I found that mine was in what I do for other people. So I gotta get realigned on this one. It's always about what I do for other people, my worthiness. And so I've got to figure out, am I worthy enough myself to do whatever, so this was good for me.
Yeah, and that's very natural, of course. And again, as givers, Karen, I know you, and Kelly, I know, like, we're givers, and then women in general. Like, I did a workshop on getting support last week, and I was like, women is natural. Like, we're the ones that are the supporters of others, and it's like, wait a minute, how do we get support? And a lot of that comes down to, in the conversation I have in my work with clients and the work that I do, is around our own worthiness. And yes, are we talking about the money? Like, I could do a big old cash flow projection spreadsheet with the best of them and give you strategic tips on saving money and taxes and all that. And this is what it's about. Like, this is where the juice is. This is what's sexy. Yeah. And on a Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon for you, Delphine. It's awesome. So I am just so, thank you for showing up to this. This is courage walking, and step by step. And again, holding you all in a lot of grace and compassion and love for who you are. No money, whatever's going on. Gosh, I've coached trust funders who have $40 million in trust fund waiting for them. Gosh, so much stuff. Still the same thing of my people who like have nothing and want to do something different with their money. And this is an opportunity. And again, it's just kind of scratching the surface with some powerful questioning. I saw you writing and letting it simmer, and again, being brave enough to share when you did. And so thank you, Keren, for putting this together.
Yeah, thank you all for coming and for really diving into it. It's and I want to hold space for each one of you, that money is ready, waiting, coming, flowing, circulating, and that the point is to change the world, change our lives. Just let it flow. It's there, ready. We need to be open vehicles to be able to let that flow. And that comes from your giftings, from your desires. It's so comprehensive. But until we can get some of these things out of the way, answer these blocks, we're not opening the door. And so I'm going to hold space for all of us to do that. So if you want to, have a conversation with Christine on any of this, she's going to put, she put her.
Yeah, I put some details in there. Like I said, stuff might come up, like I said, to stir the pot a little bit. So if you feel like it's not complete and you have another insight or thought and you want to be witnessed in it, I'm sure obviously Keren's here for you. But I put my personal email address in the chat box. I put my website in there if you want to check out a little bit about what I'm doing, in the world around money, to get to know me a little bit better. And then I put my fun, I'm like a quiz whore. I love quizzes. I love questionnaires. Send me any of that. I love them. So I actually created one called the Money Archetype Quiz, and it's just a real simple 5-minute quiz that you can go through to get some more insight into your default nature around money. And I would love to hear what, who you are in that framework. And if anyone is looking for deeper work or knows someone who wants to do deeper work around their money to improve their relationship and their bank account, I'd love to be introduced. So I will leave it at that with a big, great, abundant thank you.
And I want to, and Christine, thank you so much for coming and sharing this. This was really, really valuable. I'm very grateful. I got a lot out of it, and yeah, it's really, thank you so much. And then I want to invite you, I'm holding writing workshops. If you guys are any writing books or a blog or any content for anything, it's just a really sacred place of writing. And Alana's been in it this month with us. It's been really fun. Alana, what's been your experience in the writing workshops?
It's so helpful because I always tell myself that I'm writing and then I don't write. But when you show up in a group and it's a designated time and your guidance, Keren, with the, getting us in the flow state and then getting us back in the flow state when we
Get stuck.
get stuck, it's just invaluable. And it's been this, I guess, 3 weeks now, and I've written over 15,000 words, which is like, that just blows my mind. I don't know, yeah, it's more than I imagined. So
That's great. So if you guys would like to join, and I do one Saturday a month, this one, something similar to this is completely free. Invite whoever you want to come in. Every month we have a little different subject. But the writing workshops, if you want to link, the link's in the chat, you can click on that and sign up for June if you'd like. And I'm, here to answer any questions or point you in the right direction. If there's something you're stuck in, I have a lot of resources. I got some really cool people that I know, like Christine. And so if you guys need something, I'm happy to point you in the right direction so that we can live free and make an impact and let the goodness flow. Okay, thank you all.
thank you.
Thank you, Keren. Thank you, Christine.
Thank you. Many blessings to all of you. Bye for now, and I hope to meet you somewhere down the line.
Enjoy your Saturday. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Karen and Christine.
You're so welcome.